Thousands of people are still hunting for a single piece of media that may not exist. A half-remembered clip described 1,000 slightly different ways in a dozen threads for years. And not one person can prove they have ever actually seen it. Every time someone follows a lead, they hit the same wall. Each clue just points to another clue, which points to another clue, which points to a dead archive link. The trail never reaches the media, it just branches and dissolves. Now you could call that a harmless obsession, except this is collective memory trying to recover one of its own missing pieces. If 1,000 people can't recover one clip together, what does that say about everything we think we remember? So I followed the search itself instead of the media to see where it actually ends. I wanted to know what is really at the bottom of a hunt that never finds its prize. And almost immediately, I found something the searchers had stopped noticing. The hunt had quietly become more famous and far bigger than the thing it was looking for. Strangers now knew the search by heart, while almost no one could describe the media at all. To understand how that happens, you have to see how these hunts are actually run. First, you triangulate. You gather every fuzzy memory and look for where they overlap. Then you build the timeline. Dates, channels, broadcasts, anything that can be pinned down. Then dead-link archaeology. You crawl archives for pages that died before anyone thought to save them. And finally, frame matching. You compare every surviving fragment against the memory, frame by frame. And this is where the search starts to come apart. The memories don't agree with each other. Two people describe the same scene and contradict each other on everything that matters. The dates can't line up. One memory predates the channel it supposedly aired on. One detail only makes sense if a longer version existed that nobody can produce. And slowly a quieter fear creeps into the threads. What if the thing never existed at all? Every memory that should have pointed at one clip pointed somewhere slightly different. So which is it? There are really only 4 explanations. 1. It existed, it was real, and it is simply lost. 2. It was never one thing. It's a misremembered amalgam of several real clips fused into one. 3. It was a hoax. Someone invented it, and the lie took on a life of its own. 4. And this is the strange one. It never existed anywhere but in a shared false memory. Each theory explained some of the evidence. None of them explained all of it. To know which was even possible, I looked at how lost media is normally found, and lost. Famous hunts have ended both ways. Some clips surface after decades, some never do. Archives die quietly. A server shuts off, and a decade of memory goes dark with it. And groups misremember together. A whole community can be certain of a thing that was never there. When the record is gone, all that's left is what people swear they saw. And that's exactly where the human part of this gets loud. Because for years, strangers have been hunting this clip together. There are wikis, spreadsheets, timelines built by people who never met. There are rival claimants, each certain their version of the memory is the true one. One user even announced he'd found it, until the file turned out to be fake. And then, buried in a dead archive, a real fragment finally surfaced. It was small and degraded, but it matched the memory. The thing had been real. That should have ended the hunt. Instead, the proof made the community explode. Now everyone had a look-alike, a near match, a claim of their own to defend. Sit with that for a second, because it changes what this even is. The search now had 2 subjects, the missing media and the culture searching for it. And the second one was growing far faster than the first. People started documenting the dead ends, the hoaxes, the near misses, as carefully as the clip itself. Which raised a stranger question. What exactly were they building? And here the search does something I didn't expect. It starts to have a history of its own. The hunt had generated its own canon, a second history made of dead ends and hoaxes and near misses. Every false lead had become a chapter. Every hoax had become a character. The search now had more documented events than the media ever would. And nobody had decided to build it. It had simply accumulated year after year. Go back through all of it now, and every clue reads differently. The most repeated detail in the legend wasn't from the clip. A searcher had guessed it once, and it stuck. The famous timestamp everyone cites wasn't recovered. It was invented to fill a gap. The defining scene everyone remembers, it traces back to a hoax thumbnail, not the media. The most documented, most certain parts of the legend were things the community itself had created. And that's the reveal that reframes everything. The search had become the primary source. The original might never be found, but the search had become a permanent record in its place. A record of exactly how online memory repairs a hole when nobody trusts their own recollection. And the single most famous fact about the media? It's a fake lead nobody ever retracted. It was never confirmed. It was repeated until repetition made it true. The clip everyone is hunting is half real memory, half thing the hunt built around the hole. And for years, almost no one noticed the search had become the thing worth studying. So was the lost media ever really found? Here's the most honest answer the evidence allows. Sometimes the original surfaces, sometimes it stays gone for good. The hunt rarely gets a clean ending. But either way, what's left behind is the same, a detailed map of collective memory at work. And the fake lead, the one nobody retracted, almost always outlives the real find. Which means the legend the public remembers is, in part, a thing that was never true. But notice what these hunts actually produce. They produce the shape of how an internet legend hardens. Not from one clean lie, but from 1,000 almost true memories, all pointing slightly different ways. Everyone who swore they remembered it wasn't lying. They remembered a whole and filled it together. That's why these searches are addictive, even if you don't care about the media at all. You're not watching people find a clip. You're watching memory repair itself in real time. We like to think a lost thing once found is simply recovered. But the hole doesn't close when the file appears. By then the search has become the monument. The repair outlasts the thing it was repairing. The scaffolding becomes the building. You may never see the media, but you have already seen the search, and the search is the real artifact. The internet doesn't just lose files, it builds monuments to the looking. The media stopped being the mystery a long time ago. The way 1,000 strangers tried to remember something together, that was the real story. So before you repeat the next famous fact about a lost thing, ask who first said it and how they knew. There's a search where the fake lead became more famous than the actual find. The same trail. A stranger ending. Tell me the lost media that still haunts you, and tell me which search I should follow next. The internet doesn't just lose files, it builds monuments to the looking. If you made it to the end of this one, subscribe. I trace a new artifact every week, and the short version of this mystery is linked right here.